Beautiful. So I think we're live. Amazing. I will stop sharing the screen so that way you will see me. Beautiful to connect with all of you. I can see that we already have 7 people watching us. Amazing. I'm pretty sure that more people will join us. So first of all, thank you for joining us today. I'm Sebastian Diaz. I'm co-founder and head of acceleration in Deep Ecosystems. I will tell you all about what is Deep Ecosystems and all the things that we do here and how we can help you to collaborate in all the things that are regarding the ecosystem building, I said. So welcome to all the people that is joining us. Beautiful. And the best ways to start is by telling the story, of course, by the beginning. So I will go back to share my screen. So you will see a small presentation. As I said, I'm going to walk you through what we do here in Deep, how we can help you to build your ecosystem, and all the things that we do here at Deep Ecosystems. First of all, guys, feel free to do all the comments that you want right here below in the YouTube link. You can comment all you want. If you have questions about what we do, if you have questions about the acceleration process, how we help ecosystem projects, our experience or whatever, let us know, put the question there and we'll try to answer. That's the main purpose of this webinar, just to connect with you and try to answer all the questions that you might have regarding how can we collaborate all together. All right, so let's start. And as I said, the best way to start this webinar, I believe, is explaining why we do all what we do here at Deep Ecosystem. And we do it because we believe in the power of entrepreneurship. And specifically, when it comes to entrepreneurship, we believe in the power of that entrepreneur to create ecosystems, to create a community to start growing the ecosystem. So we believe that entrepreneurs are the only ones that are going to be capable to solve the biggest problems of our times. And when I said the biggest problems of our times, I'm referring to things like what we're seeing right now, you know, or right here. There are many, many other programs, but this will give you a general idea of what are the projects that we're trying to look to accelerate. When it comes, for example, to female entrepreneurship, you must know that it's a huge trend today because it is proven that if we start to put more diversity in our ecosystems, but not only with gender, but in any kind of diversity, nationalities, different backgrounds, etc., that's when the innovation happens, right? And that's when you start to have a more sustainable ecosystems. But we're far away from that today. And take this as an example. If you're a female entrepreneur today, you will have 38% less chances to raise capital only in Europe. And that's a huge gap that we need to start solving. If we consider another topic, Central and Eastern European founders, probably you're going to have, and not probably, we are seeing it today with our data, that you're going to have less than half of the capabilities of another European to raise that amount of money that you're seeing there. Also, today, we also know that sustainability is a huge topic. We need to think in the new businesses and new ecosystems, always in terms of sustainability. We need to think about not what's going to happen in the future in the world, but what is happening today. And we are all aware of that. But if you're working in something related to sustainability or impact, you will have 70% or more than 70% less chances to raise capital. So that these are huge problems that we need to solve. And this is not a thing that is solved by a business, but just one startup. This is solved by the ecosystem approach. When you connect different people and you put it all together to work towards one purpose. So this is just a few highlights of why we believe that there are huge challenges today in the world. And we believe that the only way to solve those is through entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs that are building ecosystem. So today we don't have these kind of ecosystems because we are seeing these problems and the problems are growing year by year, and we need to start connecting this ecosystem and creating this ecosystem. So there is a real need from you and from the people that is building this kind of projects to get support to start growing, to have the impact that we're looking for. So long story short, we are inviting you all to join our global movement of ecosystem builders to build better tech ecosystems. So, and when I say join us, you will ask yourself maybe, and who are these guys? And this is who we are. So we put it together all our experience into ecosystem building. We have experience in Munich, in Chile, in Estonia, in Portugal, and in many, many other countries. We put it together, a team from different parts of the world with different backgrounds, all together to start building and helping the ecosystem builders and entrepreneurs to build ecosystems. So how do we help other ecosystems to grow, to rise, and to connect, and to make them more sustainable, of course? We have three key elements that I'll explain in detail. First of all, we have the mindset, right? We help ecosystem builders to think in terms of growth, because when we talk about ecosystems, we tend to think small, but we need to think globally, just like what the startup are doing nowadays, but we need to think the same thing towards ecosystems. So the first pillar is the mindset. We help you to grow that global mindset when it comes to ecosystem, because we need to connect them globally in order to create that flow among the talent and around the world. The second pillar is the data. That's very important to understand where we are, what are the gaps, and design strategies based on clear and objective things. So the second pillar that we have is the data that I'm going to explain you a little bit more deeper in the next slide. And last but not least, is our experience and community. This is the most valuable things, because you will learn not only from the things that we have learned in Chile, in Estonia, and in Munich, but also from other people from all over the world that are building ecosystem projects and are connecting the dots in their local communities. So you will learn from them, you will connect, and you will share all those experiences with them. So let me explain you how it works. All these three pillars, in order to change your mindset or help you to have this global mindset, or in order to measure and understand your ecosystem with the right data and the community, we have different tools to boost the three pillars that I mentioned. So the first tool that we have is our DEEP community. Our DEEP community is a big community of ecosystem builders or entrepreneurs that gather together twice a year in our ecosystem conference. We talk there about what are the next trends. We talk about what are the biggest challenges that we face when we're building ecosystem. We collaborate, we connect, and we partner with each other, and everything happened there because we put together all the community. We have an alumni network, of course, of the other projects that went through the Accelerator. So we keep them in touch. They become mentors of our or of the next batch. They share continuously all the feedback and the resources that they have. And of course, at the end, scouting services, because the most important thing as an ecosystem builder is that we are connected dots all the time. And it's always about the startup and the entrepreneur that is developing something, right? So we try to help them. So we try to do scouting services to provide a real connection and bridges among different organizations that are supporting startups and entrepreneurs in order to create that flow around ecosystem. We strongly believe that the connection globally of ecosystem is not going to happen through a free trade agreement or institution. It's always happening through people. So that's what we're trying to put together there. And we, through the scouting services, is a good way to start creating that flow. The second tool that we have is the heat map, deep heat map. And as I tell you, the data is very important. That's one of the most important pillars that we have here, right? So the platform basically helps you to understand what is happening in your local ecosystem. Today, we have a strong presence in Europe. Soon enough, we're going to be launching data and reports from other continents, but today is very concentrated in Europe. But we can also help, and we have a methodology to help local ecosystem in other places. But today, if you go to start.heatmap.eu, you will check all the platform and the data that we have available for you. So when it comes to that, I mean ecosystem intelligence, as it says right there, right? So we build using the numbers because it's very important to understand where are the gaps, and not just to develop something because we believe is something cool. We really need to understand where are the gaps that our communities need in order to create this ecosystem. And at last but not least, the third tool that we have to help you to create ecosystem is the accelerator, right? And the accelerator is the main topic today and the things that we're going to be talking about. So when it comes to deep ecosystem, we have a journey that I would like to explain. Basically, as I mentioned at the beginning, we all connect during the conference. In the conference that we have twice a year, we try to understand what are the next trends, what are the next big topic of ecosystem developing. To start, obviously, put a lot of focus on there and start to find projects that are going to create ecosystems of the future. Then we have, as I mentioned before, the tool for analysis, for the data. We do ecosystem analysis. We have a very cool tool that is called Ecosystem Health Check that we can go through and discuss more deeply if you have a question about it, or in a one-to-one session with you guys. So feel free to reach out if you want to know more about these kind of tools. But we help you, as I said at the beginning, we help you to understand where are your gaps in order to develop that vision. Once you have that vision, right? Once you were inspired by the people that you connect with in the conference, once you start to understand what are the next trends in the deep dives, when you know where are your gaps through the data, right? To develop a vision, it's time to build an ecosystem project. And that's where we're gathered all together in this accelerator. At the end, we can scale all this through our platform to our data and connecting all this ecosystem all together. We have experience building ecosystems and helping ecosystem builders all over the world. And these are just a couple of examples that I want to highlight with you, just to put over the table that this is a global program. It's not only for Europeans. So if you are in any part of the world and you're thinking about ecosystem, feel free to apply to this program, because, as I said, is for global ecosystem projects. So we have, as I said, ecosystem builders in Romania. We are helping also ecosystem builders in Zurich, just to build, for example, with the University of Zurich. We will start to help and collaborate to create the next half of the future of work. We're helping also projects in Brazil with an accelerator for impact. They are creating a huge impact with this accelerator when it comes to helping a startup with a social purpose. They have a methodology, a proven methodology, where they can help these entrepreneurs and this kind of a startup to raise funds in an effective way. So as you can see, we have projects from Europe, but also we have from South America, and also from Africa. One of our current alumni is called RegTech Africa, and they are really trying to create this ecosystem among the fintech industry and regulations to start having a more connected ecosystem to help the people in a daily basis there in Nigeria. So this is just a quick highlight. Feel free to ask more questions about the other projects. We also, if you go to startahitmap.eu, you will click on the accelerator page and you will see the portfolio of ecosystem accelerators that went through our accelerator. So feel free to go there. You will know a little bit more about them. Also, if you sign up for this webinar, in the first email, you got a link to our demo day. I'm going to go through that as well a little bit more deep in the next few minutes, but feel free to click there and you will know more about these projects. So today is all about one of the tools that we have to build ecosystems, right? So I give you a general perspective of what we do in deep ecosystem, but today we're talking specifically of the tool that is called Accelerator. And this is, of course, for ecosystem. Remember, guys, the application process was open from October 18th and it will close on December the 3rd. Sometimes we got a lot of requests to give the people a little bit more time, so we will keep you posted if that date will change, but most likely it will stay like that. So if you're interested in applying, make sure to do it before December the 3rd. Don't expect that we're just going to change the date. Don't wait until the last day, because that might not happen. So be sure of doing it before December the 3rd. That means that you have like around 10 more days to apply in our online forum. It's very easy, very straightforward. It might take you a couple of minutes and you will be applying. Right, so let's go and talk about this accelerator. So when we talk about an accelerator for ecosystem, sounds crazy because we're used to hear that only startups or businesses or innovation can be accelerated, right? But we have a methodology that helps actual ecosystems to grow faster. So who is this for? everybody in principle can apply. But we would like to be more specific, and we would like to say we are targeting entrepreneurs, but not that entrepreneurs that is the founder of a startup. He might be also a founder of a startup, but he has a strong interest on ecosystem building, because at the end, the only way to have sustainable businesses in your country, in your town, in your city, it is if you have an ecosystem that support all the entrepreneurs. So it's very important that you need to know that this program is for entrepreneurs or for ecosystem builders that we also consider entrepreneurs, but the ecosystem builders is most of the time behind the scenes, right? Because when we talk about ecosystems, we always think about the VC, the startup, right? Maybe universities, the talent, etc. But we never think about the ecosystem builder. And I'm talking about the people that work inside of incubators or accelerators or public programs to bring more startups into your city, those guys that are really helping entrepreneurs connecting the dots behind the scene. So this program is also for you. So also for innovation managers, if you're working inside of a big corporations and you need to start to develop your innovation strategy to work more closely with the ecosystem, and you are not very sure about how to connect with the ecosystem and how to connect with entrepreneurs, we can help you with that strategy. And of course, any other motivated person that has an interest in ecosystems is welcome to apply. It's very important to understand that here we don't have startups. We are not looking for startups, even though you can have a tool in your ecosystem project that works in terms of innovation as a tool like a startup. We're looking for these tools that are helping or are going to boost ecosystems. So what do we offer at this accelerator? Let's go into the details. And always remember, guys, we have the comments below in our YouTube link. So if you're watching us right now and you have questions, feel free to ask all the questions that you might have. I'm already seeing a couple of these questions. So as soon as I finish, I'll go through them and reply them one by one. We also have the CEO of Deep Ecosystem here, that is Thomas Kösters. As soon as we finish, also he will jump in to answer some questions if you want to ask him directly too. So what do we offer? Again, a 6-week program. So the acceleration program, it will take 6 weeks where you're going to get different things. You are going to get connected with partners and mentors. You're going to join and you're going to get the chance to know other people, other ecosystem builders, and you will get the chance to join our community. And the most important is the peer-to-peer learning, as I mentioned before. And at the end of the whole process, we're going to try to help you to get funding to activate your project. And also we're going to give you visibility through our channels, through our partners, and all over the place where Deep Ecosystem is. So let's go to the details one by one. When we talk about the 6-week programs, we talk about building the concept, building the strategy, and have a clear narrative of what's going to be your ecosystem. So we divide the 6-week basically in 3. So you will have right here what we call the Deep Academy. So during the first 2 weeks, we will work on the conceptualization of your project. We're going to understand where is the gap, why you're doing the things. We're going to try to measure a couple of other things, try to bring the data over the table to understand the whole concept that you're bringing. So we're putting basically in these first 2 weeks, all the tools over the table to understand what do we have to build your ecosystem. We have a proven methodology that help you to get into that point. In the 3rd and 4th week, you will work on your partnership strategy, because when it comes to building ecosystem, you cannot do it by your own. You need to connect with other stakeholders towards one purpose. So we're going to help you to develop that offer for them in order to start finding for the right partners to boost the ecosystem of your local community, of your city, or your country. And at last but not least, during the 5th and the 6th week, we're going to help you with your funding strategy. We're going to understand what's the cost of the projects. We're going to try to build packages to start selling this, and the entire offer to help you to go into the market offering the services that you will offer to different stakeholders. During the whole program, You will have pitch training. It's going to be mostly concentrated by the end of the program, but you can also get pitch training at the beginning of the program. Why is it concentrated at the end of the program? Because after this 6 week, we will have a demo day, just like the startups demo day that we all might know, but this is, remember, always focus on ecosystem projects. And we're going to get the pitch training, and we're going to, of course, try to find the narrative and put it there to start moving the world towards your ecosystem. Also, during the entire program, you will get mentoring. You will get access to amazing mentors and office hours with the deep ecosystem staff in order to work on your project. And of course, we're going to have a couple of meetups. We're going to bring a couple of experts to our sessions to talk about ecosystems, how to build them, what are the biggest challenges, and all the things that you might imagine when it comes to ecosystems. When I talk about mentors and partners, we have tons of people that join us and help us to boost ecosystem. As I said at the beginning, the most important thing is that you're going to get access to our community, but not only of ecosystem builders that went through our accelerator, but a lot of people working in EU funds, in big corporations, in other ecosystems, successful accelerators, and they will help you and give you the feedback that you need in order to build your project. The most important part is this: just to get in touch with these amazing people from all over the world that will help you to build your project, and it will help you to tie all the loose ends. Also, the other thing is the access to the community and the peer-to-peer learning. As I said before, the community is awesome. It's all over the world. It's very diverse, and everybody is a startup enthusiast. Everybody likes to connect. All of them are very passionate about ecosystem building and solving the biggest challenges that we discussed at the beginning of this presentation. So you will get access to that community, and of course, you will get the chance to meet them. And last but not least, as I said before, you will have a demo day at the end of the program. I don't know why we cannot see this, but it doesn't matter, I can explain it. But you will have this demo day where you're going to pitch your ecosystem in front of different organizations. We're going to help you with your funding strategy as well. We're going to try to go and raise funds with you as a partner, or maybe to connect you with the right organization for you to raise funds. And of course, we're going to give you visibility to all our channels in order to highlight what you're offering. So we're going to help you to do all that in terms when it comes to growing your ecosystem. So you see all the things that we offer, but what do we ask in return, right? So basically, all the things that I mentioned are free services valued at 60K, basically. We will help you, as I said before, to build an ecosystem project, an actual project. So take the thinking into action with a clear plan. We're going to give you access to data, to conversion opportunities, to create your story and your narrative. We're going to give you access to a portfolio of projects that we have. And of course, at last but not least, the community. The only thing that we ask in return is a 50% success fee, but that is based only if you win. That means if you manage to raise some funds to boost this project, we will collect a 50% success fee. If in your project, for example, you have a recurrent sales during the year, we also need to find a way to collect that 50% out of the sales fee. But after you went through the program with a specific project, and if you manage to put a business model in that specific project, and of course, we're going to help you, or you raise funds to boost that specific project, we will collect that 50%. And that's an agreement that we all signed before you join the accelerator and after you apply. So feel free to apply, guys. You will find, after the application process, you will find the terms and conditions at the end of the application process. And if you have any questions regarding that, feel free to reach us. Send an email or contact, or send maybe a comment here also on the application. So before going into the question and answer part, important thing that you need to always remember: if you want to apply, please go to this address that you're seeing right here, this apply.deepecosystem.com. You go there and you will get access directly to our application form. As I said, it's very straightforward. You will need to answer some questions. and you're going to be good to go. So let's go with the dates. Application process, it will end on December the 3rd. Sometimes we change the date of the application process based on the comments that we get on a lot of people that want to apply and they need more time, but don't count on that, okay? You still have 10 days. So try, if you're really interested, try to do it in the next 10 days to not miss an opportunity, because it's not guaranteed that we're gonna change the date, the final date to apply. So make sure to do it before December the 3rd. After you apply, we're gonna start to make an evaluation of all the projects from the 6th until December the 22nd. Then we're gonna have, we're gonna publish the result on December the 23rd. That means that you will get an email from us with the actual results. Also remember that between December the 6th and the 22nd, we might reach out to have an interview with you just to go through a few details and try to understand better a few things that we might have not understand in the best way during your application. So that might happen in between the evaluation process too, between those dates. When it comes to the acceleration program, so far these are the dates. If there's going to be any change, we will let you know in advance, of course, but the acceleration program should start on January the 24th until March the 7th. So those are the 6 weeks where we're going to help you to build this project. So before starting the acceleration program, there is a soft landing that is going to happen between January the 11th and the January the 21st. And the soft landing is basically giving you access to all the platforms that we're going to use, giving you access to some workshops that are recorded with very important information and the tools, of course, that we have to build the ecosystem projects all over the world. And at last but not least, we're going to have our demo day, an event to connect with other stakeholders to show your projects, and basically where you're going to pitch your story in front of all the stakeholders that you might invite, that we might invite, and etc. So you will have a lot of time during the acceleration program to prepare that pitch, to highlight what you're doing. So I'm going to leave everything here on this screen because here are the most important information about the acceleration program. And right now I'm going to go to the questions and answer. Okay, so one second, guys. So somebody asked, does it make sense to apply as an incubator? Of course, it makes sense. Definitely it's an actor that is building ecosystem, because we as an incubators, we are helping companies to grow and to be developed, right? So there are many things that you need to do when it comes to growing startups, right? Or to create startups. One of them, for example, is just to connect with mentors, because the startup needs mentors. And who does that? The person that is working inside of the incubator. The incubator needs to find and connect mentors. Also, sometimes the startup needs validations. So they need a direct access to the market to start validating their products. So maybe the incubator also needs to create a network of potential customers or people or companies that are willing to be pilots or beta testers for new products. So again, you're connecting and creating a network of corporations to help the startups. So at the end, just to go straight to the point, big yes, incubators are creating ecosystem. It's a big actor when it comes to support ecosystem developing, and not only that, but also to support a startup to grow. So if you want to know, for example, what is the right startup that you need to support based on the data of your ecosystem and in the real needs of your community or country or city, maybe you can apply with this incubator, and we can help you to tie up your strategy. Maybe we can find out that you're going to have a specific calls and stuff like that. I don't know, just to give you an example, but bottom line, yes, you can apply with your incubator and of course accelerators. Let's go to the next one. Hi, is the participation in your program free of charge for the incubator? As I mentioned during the presentation, yes, it's free of charge. There are services value at 60K, but once you go through the accelerator and once you raise funds with the project that you went through the accelerator, we have a success fee. So basically, you will have to pay us 50% of the amount of money that you raised in that with that fund, with that sponsor that is helping you to grow, etc. So you need to know that that success fee, we will only collect it if you manage to grow. So, because of course, when it comes to ecosystem building, it's just like a startup, you can fail also. There is a lot of validation that we will do, but it might not be the best project when it comes to growing into a market, right? And that's very normal. And you need to pivot and you need to start from zero and stuff like that. So it's very important for you to understand that we will only collect that success fee if you grow and if you manage to raise some funds. Then there is another question that is asking, how do you measure success? So as I said before also, and as it was answered there, is based on the funding, right? So if you manage to raise funding, we consider that success. And we will collect the percentage that we mentioned before based on the amount of money that you raise. So there is another question that it says, if we are not planning to raise funds as we are a university incubator, does it make sense? Of course, it makes sense. As I said at the beginning, this accelerator is for every ecosystem project. And if you are part of a big university or another big institution, you can always apply. But the model of the success fee might not work for you in this case, because as you mentioned there, you're not raising funds or you don't have a specific business model attached to this ecosystem project. But that doesn't mean that you cannot apply. That it means that we need to talk and try to find a way to collaborate with each other so that way we can create kind of the same condition of this success fee, a win-win situation, basically. We will help you. You will get all the things that we offer, access to the community, the 6-week program, access to the data, etc. But we need to work in a deal in order to measure how you're going to succeed, consider that, and then get a deal into this win-win situation. Okay, let's see what other question we have. There is more conversation happening in here. Okay, so there is another question here saying, who is the audience at the demo day? Well, it's a mixed audience. There is different profiles. We bring people from different European institutions. When I say institution, I'm not talking about only public institutions, but also corporations, some investors that are working in the startup ecosystems, but those investors that also have that approach, not always only to the investment fund, but also to the ecosystem approach. We have I don't know, startups that come here, different foundations and organizations. So it's basically all the people that is interested on ecosystem building, but also organizations that are interested on connecting with these kind of projects to start working with them and partnering. Will you share the presentation after the webinar? Sure, I'll be more than happy. Actually, you sign in for this webinar with your email, so I can, right after we finish this, I can send you an email with this presentation, and that way we can all get connected also. So if you have questions, feel free to contact me directly. So as soon as we finish this webinar, expect an email from me, and we will get connected. It is online, on site. Very good question. So the acceleration program happens 100% online. We will connect in online sessions with everybody to build ecosystems, and also in one-to-one sessions to work specifically on your project. But it's very important, as I said at the beginning, and it's also in the application form, that it will be great if you have the capability to come to Europe to the final event, because we have, as I mentioned at the beginning, the DEEP conference, and it's a very important conference, not only for ecosystem builders and the creation of ecosystem, but also for our ecosystem community, because that's where we gather all together. And we want to do our next demo day in that event. So it will be great if you can join us. Of course, it's not mandatory. If there are specific things that we can do to help in order to bring you here, we will do that. It's going to be more like a one-to-one situation, but also consider that the acceleration program happens online, but it will be great, of course, if you can join us in this event, because as I said at the beginning, that's where we're going to put faces, real faces to the whole process that we did all together. And of course, you will get the chance to connect with everybody. So it will be great if you can come. Of course, it's not mandatory, it's not a must, but it's definitely where the magic happens. So consider to at least travel once to Europe, where the conference will be happening. So there is another question that asks, what is soft landing? So soft landing basically happened before the acceleration program start, and it's basically a process where we're going to give you access to the platforms, where we're going to interact. We're going to give you access to content that is very useful when it comes to ecosystem builders. For you to understand now, sorry, my watch it's talking to me. Just turn that off. So we will, as I was saying, we will give you access to this platform where you're going to see a lot of valuable content to build ecosystems. You are going to see our tools that we have, and it's basically the process for you to start to get to know how we're going to work in the next 6 weeks. So basically, it's the first step before we start the acceleration program. Okay, a lot of answers here. We already put the email to apply right there, so feel free to do so. Beautiful. There is another question here. Building a global ecosystem is our startup vision, but we're truly far from that point. Will a general conceptualization of our imagined impact do in order to apply? I think if I got that correctly, basically you have a vision, but you don't have basically a very specific plan in order to get into that vision. So if that's the question, definitely we can help you to build that vision. As I said at the beginning when I explained the program, first we're going to put a concept on that vision. We're going to start to understand how to build that vision based on our data, on the narrative and everything. After we have the concept, we're going to start to have and design the plan, right? How to connect with different partners, what are you going to offer to those partners and stakeholders, and of course to all the ecosystem actors that you want to partner with. But at last but not least, it comes the funding strategy. Basically, we're going to put a number into that project that you have. What's the cost? How much money should we look to raise? What are the packages maybe that you could sell in order to start working and to move towards the vision that you have? So if you have only a vision and a concept, big yes, you can apply to our accelerator and we will help you to develop that concept and idea. Where is the DEEP conference demo day? Which country? Beautiful question. So the DEEP conference happened in different places. Last one happened in October the 18th and took place in Essen in Germany. The next conference, we don't have confirmation of the city yet. We will have it soon enough, so we will communicate it to you, but most likely will be in Europe. And the demo day, we're hoping to have it there as well. But of course, as I said at the beginning, it will be ideal if you can come and join us, but it's not a must, it's not mandatory. Of course, if you have an ecosystem project and there is no way that you can come, you can also apply and we can find ways to have you there in the demo day as well. But very important for you to know that when it comes to creating ecosystem and to learn from peer-to-peers, the most important thing happens when you are in touch with people in the same room. And that's the value that we believe that we add to this community. So always consider it to come. We don't have yet in a specific country, but we will let you know, of course, in advance for you to plan. Let me see if we have other questions here. No, I think there are no more questions. We still have a few people watching us, so feel free to ask any questions if you have. If you don't have more questions, of course, as I said, I'm going to send this presentation so you can have the presentation that we went through today and more information about our accelerator. But most importantly, we will get connected. So feel free to reach me out directly with any question. Also, if you want to connect, also, if you want to just have a one-to-one conversation about the process, feel free to reach me out and we can find the best time during the week to talk about the application and your project. I'm just going to give a couple more minutes to see if there are more questions. If not, I'll say that there'll be a wrap up. Thomas, I'm not sure if you would like to say something or mention something that I might forget maybe, and you want to say it. If not, I'll say that we're good to go because there are no more questions. Hey, Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm the CEO of Deep. And yes, I wanted to just say hi and congratulate Sebastian for the great introduction. We are all there for you if you have further questions. So Sebastian, me, or anyone else of the team. And yeah, we're looking very much forward to receive nice applications from you in the next 10 days. And yes, please don't hesitate to send an application, even if you're unsure. The best conversations we can have after we see what your plans are. And definitely, that's one point I wanted to stress. You don't have to fundraise venture capital. It's very unlikely that you will raise venture capital with an ecosystem project. There's exceptions, of course. Sometimes there's a startup that builds ecosystems, but most of the time you will have a project that looks for alternative ways of financing. And that is what we are all about. We're here for those bottom-up, grassroots acceleration of ecosystems. So really, if you're building something new, if you're bold and you're going into a new direction, apply. You don't have to build a startup. You don't have to raise venture capital. You must find your way to make a living out of this, but we will find that together with you. It's not for startups. It is for projects. It is for people like you that build something bottom up. So just apply and don't be afraid of the word funding. It is about many different sources of funding. Can be government funding, EU funding, can be sponsorings, can be individuals that give money for something like this, like business angels. We know a lot of models. We've seen a lot. We can help you to find your ways through the maze. So apply and try out what the DeepSEA program can do for you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Thomas. And I think we're good to go. Remember, guys, I will share this with you. We will get connected, but also remember to visit our YouTube channel. There is a lot of videos that you can see there also about our community, our event, but most importantly, this webinar is going to be there as well. So if you want to go through this again, or you don't remember something that we discussed, you can go through this video one more time in our YouTube channel. Beautiful, guys. So looking forward from hearing from you, all your questions, but most importantly, your applications. Remember, don't assume that we're going to change the date. Go and apply before December the 3rd. So beautiful to connect with you guys. Nice to talking to you. Thomas, till the next time, I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.